Title: America's Longest Wrongful Conviction. Where's Richard Phillips now? He was locked away for nearly half a century for a murder he didn't commit. No physical evidence. No justice. Just one lie, and it stole 45 years of his life. Richard Phillips is now the longest wrongfully imprisoned person in U.S. history. But where is he today? And how did he survive the unimaginable? This is his story. Richard Phillips was born in 1946 in Michigan. He worked hard, loved music, and had a young family. By all accounts, he was an ordinary man trying to live an honest life. But in 1971, everything changed. A man named Gregory Harris was shot and killed during a robbery in Detroit. Police were desperate to make an arrest, and Richard, completely unaware of the crime, was suddenly accused. Why? A man named Fred Mitchell claimed Richard was his accomplice. Mitchell had cut a deal to reduce his own charges, and his false testimony was all the prosecution needed. Despite having no criminal record, no motive, and no physical evidence against him, Richard was convicted in 1972. He was just 27 years old and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. What followed was pure hell. For the next 45 years, Richard Phillips lived in some of Michigan's harshest prisons. He watched other inmates get visits from their families. While he was forgotten, he missed his kids growing up, missed funerals, birthdays, and decades of progress on the outside. But he never lost hope. Inside his cell, Richard discovered something unexpected: painting. With no formal training, he began creating watercolor scenes, mostly landscapes, sunsets, and everyday life. It became his therapy, his voice, his way to stay sane in a world built to break him. Year after year, he maintained his innocence. He wrote letters, filed appeals, but no one listened until 2014. That year, Fred Mitchell, the same man who falsely testified against Richard, admitted something explosive during a parole hearing. He confessed. Richard Phillips had nothing to do with the murder. The Michigan Innocence Clinic was notified. They launched an investigation, uncovering flaws, misconduct, and missing evidence that had been buried for decades. In 2017, after 45 years behind bars, a judge finally ordered Richard's release. In 2018, his conviction was officially overturned. He was free at 73 years old. Imagine walking into the world after nearly 5 decades away. Smartphones, the internet, cars that park themselves. Richard Phillips had to relearn everything, from how to use a phone to how to trust people again. He had no home, no job, no family waiting for him. But he had something most people didn't expect: peace. He didn't speak with bitterness. He didn't want revenge. Instead, he focused on his art. The paintings he created in prison now had a new life, and people began buying them. His first public art shows sold out. Some of his pieces even went for thousands of dollars. In 2019, Michigan awarded him $1.5 million in compensation under the Wrongful Imprisonment Compensation Act. It helped, but as Richard said, no amount of money can make up for what I lost. Today, Richard lives quietly in Metro Detroit. He continues to paint and speak at criminal justice events. He uses his story to raise awareness about wrongful convictions and the flaws in the system. Richard's case helped inspire legal reforms and support for innocence projects across the U.S. He's been featured in interviews, documentaries, and even honored at art exhibits. But he never became obsessed with fame. He just wanted the truth to be known, and for the next Richard Phillips to be found before it's too late. Richard Phillips spent 45 years locked in a cell for a crime he didn't commit. That's over 16,000 days. But he emerged not broken, but stronger, with grace, with art, and with a voice the world could no longer ignore. His story is more than tragedy. It's a warning and a testament to the power of hope. Join the conversation. Do you think the justice system needs to change? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. Bell subscribe for more.